What's up, YouTube? Welcome to Hold My Nuts Podcast, where we talk about everything semen retention, no valve. You're tired of releasing on your keyboards, your laptops, and your desktops, and you're tired of being manipulated and dominated by female culture, man. You know what I need you to do. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the notification bell. That's a long way with helping out the channel. Welcome to Hold My Nuts Podcast.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video, man. And this video I'm excited to do, man. It's called Being Free from the Power of the Vagina. Man, this is a beautiful feeling. This is a beautiful situation, man, to actually have that under control, to actually have it under your subjection in relation to God. To not elevate the vagina above and beyond the Creator. Because what happens is when we lose our minds to the power of the vagina, what we have done is we have put the creation above the Creator. And that's a problem. That's when you formulate an idol in your life. Now, what you have to realize is when you formulate these idols in your life, these idols are not able to provide you with the things you need in order to be successful. The only thing these idols do is make you enslaved more and more to whatever is providing you, right? Which is basically death and destruction. So it's a terrible thing, man, to elevate anything that has been created over the Creator, right? The vagina included. We have to submit ourselves to God, man. And we have to look at everything in life in relation to Him. Understand this, man. If God created the vagina, if He created that beautiful organ that gives off this feeling of just pure ecstasy, why wouldn't we place our value, trust in the being that created it? Why do we bow down and worship the vagina, which leads us to being manipulated, which leads us to being dominated by female culture, right? A lot of you guys are in bad relationships, but you're staying around for the ease of being able to stick your digging stick in this particular vagina. And it's not doing you any good, right? 7 billion people on the planet, but you've lost your mind over this one thing. You can't elevate the creation over the Creator. The vagina is not going to give you purpose in life. It's not going to give you virtues that is going to help you do the things that you're supposed to do here on the planet. You have to leave your mark, man. And if your whole focus is bowing down, worshiping the vagina, bro, you're going to lose. And you're going to lose in epic fashions. We have multiple examples of this. David, Solomon, Samson. Multiple examples of men going astray, losing their way because they were worshiping the vagina. It's a beautiful situation, man, to be free from that. Imagine seeing, give me an example. There are things that you're not addicted to because you're just not, right? But there's things that people are addicted to, and you look at them and you're like, man, if they could just free themselves from that. I give you an example. Drugs, for example. Someone may be addicted to heroin, right? They have to get that fix. And their whole life evolves around that fix. They can't concentrate. They can't focus. They have to spend their waking hours searching for fix after fix after fix. And you, from the outside looking in, you say, man, if they could only be free from that one thing, if that one thing could not control them, they could exceed in life. They could excel. They can pull themselves up out of the situation that they're in. Imagine you being hooked on pornography, being hooked on masturbation, being hooked with senseless sexual images in your mind, constantly waking up with sex on your mind, going to lunch with sex on your mind, going to sleep with sex on your mind, trying to focus on all the other things that are important, but sex is in the back of your mind. Imagine if you can free yourself from that temptation, from that oppression, from that wickedness. How much more could you accomplish? How much more could you do? How much more money could you actually make? How much more attractive would you be to a godly woman? Because you're not bound by the vagina. See, what happens is when you get bound by the vagina, you move from being a principled man to being an unprincipled man. You move from being a principled man, a man of principles, morals, to being an unprincipled man. That's how you lose your virtues, your moral excellencies, by submitting to things, creating idols of things that cannot provide you with what the Creator can provide you with. It's a beautiful situation, man, to be free from the power of the vagina. Imagine the power that you have when the vagina no longer controls you. When you're no longer like taken aback by a woman saying she's not going to have sex with you. And by her saying that doesn't mean that you go out because you're bound and you desecrate yourself and some other female. Imagine having the self-control, the presence of mind, the mental fortitude to not be manipulated by the vagina, that it causes you to go and commit more heinous sins against God. Imagine the freedom you can experience. Imagine the things you can accomplish if a woman couldn't manipulate you with the thing between her legs. Imagine your life if you didn't worship it. Imagine your life, it wasn't the number one priority of your waking being, your waking state. Imagine if you woke up in the morning with your purpose on your mind and not busting a nut. Imagine if you went to sleep thinking about what God has for you to do and not busting a nut. Imagine if you could look at a woman and actually see this being made in the image of God and not as something to use to desecrate. Imagine the freedom. See, here's what you got to understand about being a slave to the vagina. Would you rather be a slave to the vagina? Because what happens is when you become a slave to the vagina, and I'm going to keep this video short. If you become a slave to the vagina, let me tell you a little secret. You become a slave to other men. I'm going to say that one more time. If you become a slave to the vagina, you become a slave to other men. You need to really understand what I'm saying to you right now. Don't become a slave to other men because you become a slave to the vagina. Any man who is not morally disciplined is a slave. And you will not only be manipulated and dominated by women, you will be manipulated and dominated by other men. Because you can't rise to the level of moral excellency. This is Hold My Nut Podcast, man. If you got value out of this video, man, hit the like button. Share this video, man. Help me get this word out, man. I'm going to holler at you guys in the next one. Peace.